Imagine you were a perverted lolly doujinshi artist. Stay with me now. And on some random Wednesday, you decided to make a Fate Magical Girl spin-off of your favorite character, Illya. Eventually, the spin-off does so well that Type Moon contacts you and is like, yo, you wanna make this official? So you write and draw borderline lolly hentai for a few years until you get bored. So bored, you decide to write one of the most cinema Fate spin-offs ever made. That's the story of Hiroshi Hiroyama, the mangaka of Prisma Illya. The first thing you need to know about Prisma Illya is that it isn't just a spin-off. It's essentially a 100-chapter love letter to Fate. Everything from the servant cards, plot, and characters is just an excuse for the mangaka to redraw cool-looking servants, as well as just expand on some interesting stories and characters in Fate. So, if you're a big Fate fan and have been avoiding Prisma Illya, maybe this is a sign for you to try it out. Okay, sorry, enough glazing, back to the actual topic of the video. Firstly, there is no point in even trying to defend Prisma Illya for its fanservice scenes, because we all know who those are made for, and we totally aren't the target market, right? Right? Prisma Illya has a bunch of lollies making out, and I mean passionately. The first 2 seasons are filled to the brim with scenes that put the main characters into uncomfortable situations, and don't even get me started on the OVAs. I completely understand if this is not the type of show you want to see, and that's fine. Ignore its existence, though eventually one must come to accept that in the anime industry, this type of content will always exist, because there is a very clear target market. But if you're complaining about Prisma Illya knowing what it is and still decide to watch it after seeing the thousands of comments on anime websites and social media, I think it might just be your fault. Anyway, as I said earlier, I've been a part of the Fate community for a little less than a year, and it's been interesting, to say the least. There are tons of mixed opinions about Fate and the larger Type Moon franchise, but I feel like the newer fans who come into Fate have some warped expectations of Fate and expect it to be something it isn't. There is a lot of fan service in Fate. The older fans, both male and female, at least from what I've seen, don't have anything to complain about because they know some companies need this kind of content to be able to sell, especially in Japan. Now, this isn't always true. Since Fate and Type Moon have gotten so big, the company has been trying to divert away from their ecchi label. But let's not forget that the original Fate Stay Night visual novel was literally an eroge. So it's mostly the newer fans who come in to complain about how they watched the entire Prisma Illya and thought it was just a lolly cash grab. Like, if you think Prisma Illya is a cash grab after watching the first 2 seasons, yeah, you're 100% right, and you have every right to criticize it. But if you watched 3-Ray, Oath Under Snow, and Nameless Girl, your opinion is rejected. The second 3-Ray started, you felt that tone shift from the world building, character development, animation, music, sound design, to the plot. It was all so fucking good. I couldn't even look away from my screen. I'm gonna try to keep spoilers to a minimum. Now, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna spoil everything. As someone who loves isekai, Prisma Illya has to be one of the coolest concepts in Fate. It's not a traditional isekai where someone is killed and they're transferred to another world, but rather the main cast, Illya, Kuro, Rin, and Luvia, go to this parallel world to save Miyu, who happens to be a holy grail vessel. Illya in Heaven's Field. Sorry. Excuse me. That's the basic plot of everything after Two Way Hurts, but I haven't even gotten to what makes Prilya really good. Character writing is something Hiroshi Hiroyama, the mangaka of Prisma Illya, has mastered. The difference between mainline Fate and Prisma Illya is that there isn't an inner monologue. Instead, you have 3 main characters who all represent different parts of the same character, basically splitting them into 3 slices of the same pie and making them fight it out. For example, Illya. K-Lid Liner Illya is what Heaven's Feel Illya could never be. There are long stretches where Illya's main objective isn't to save people, collect the servant cards, or learn more about her K-Lid Liner's powers, but instead to spend time with her friends, family, and study for tests. Illya never takes shortcuts. Rather than solving things logically like Miyu, she solves every single problem emotionally. I want to save my friend, but the world will die if I do. Nah, I'd save them both. Miyu is the complete polar opposite of Illya. She was never given the chance to even be normal. From the day she was born, she was trapped in a house and forbidden to leave until she was 6 years old. Shiro gave her a glimpse into what a normal life could look like, but even that was taken away from her. She never experienced what friends are, she never went to school, and all she knew was that she needed to be sacrificed to save the world. That her life wasn't worth anything besides the purpose that she serves. I don't remember a single instance in which Miyu complained about her situation or asked for help. Even though she's terrified, she forces herself to push past her weak, scared, young self, because that's just what she's meant to do. Lastly, Kuro. Kuro is what happens when you remove that childlike innocence from Illya. She curses the world she was born in, how unfair it all is, and as the second season progresses, she calls out Illya and tells her the life she leads is built on a lie because Illya stole what was meant to be Kuro's life. But at the same time, Kuro will take every shortcut and use whatever scummy tactic possible if it means she can protect Illya and help Illya retain that childlike innocence. Then what I think is probably the most interesting part of her character, and what makes Kuro by far one of my favorite characters in Fate, is how she represents Heaven's Feel Illya's acceptance. Heaven's Feel Illya knows her fate. Haha. Get it? Because I deeply apologize. She understands what she is, that as a homunculus, her life is less than the real humans around her. All of this relates to Kuro in the sense that she knows she's just a part of Illya that she's long left behind, and that she's living on borrowed time. She feels her life is less than all the humans around her, and that it's expendable. This is where I feel like there's a parallel to Shiro in UBW. Shiro is the epitome of, my life is worth less than everyone around me. Everything he does is for the sake of Rin, Saber, Sakura, or even his enemy, Illya. In the same manner, Kuro's enemy is Illya, yet she does everything she can to protect her. Prisma Illya does one job, and it does it well. You're given the chance to see a character that was meant to be a sacrifice. A character who wanted to live, but gave her all for the one person who gave her the love she needed. Seeing her in Prisma Illya is like peering into one of Ilya's dreams. A dream to live a normal life. But even in her dreams, they still manage to make her suffer. This is, in my opinion, Prisma Illya's selling point, and there isn't anything quite like it in any other Fate media. By the time you get to 3-Ray, it feels like almost everything in the first 2 seasons becomes obsolete. The characters aren't given breathing room anymore, and everything feels like it's closing in on them. Where to? We can't let this world be destroyed. Why the fuck is Shiro trapped in a sex dungeon? Everything keeps piling on, and the worst part is, the antagonist has an actual reason as to why he needs the Holy Grail. So you can't even hate this bitch. The characters are forced to grow in such a small time frame that you don't even have time to react. Illya can't be that innocent little girl anymore. Kuro can't be a bitch causing problems for everyone. And I'm not even gonna cover Miyu because her character development is big spoilers for the movies. And as you get used to the tone shift, you're fucking slapped and clobbered in the face by Oath Under Snow. If you still somehow thought Prillia 3-Ray had too much fanservice, this is the place to see what this anime truly has to offer. Oath Under Snow is by far my favorite Type Moon adaptation, besides the Garden of Sinners Paradox Paradigm movie. Multiply everything I've mentioned about the complexities and awesomeness of Prillia by 50, and then you get Oath Under Snow. The movie throws you straight into a pre-apocalyptic world where people are slowly dying as the life force is drained from the earth. No food to eat, no water to drink, and a society on the brink of collapse. Then we have Shiro and Kiritsugu in the middle of a gigantic explosion which evaporates half of a city. This all spirals into Shiro finding a 6-year-old Miyu, Kiritsugu dying as usual, and Shiro raising Miyu as his own little sister. Fast forward a few years, Shiro starts attending high school, meets his version of Issei Dudo, Julian Ainsworth, befriends him, and then starts talking to him about his life. Slowly but surely, the two get to know each other until Shiro reveals he has a little sister. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anymore, but let's just say Shiro and Miyu don't get to have any more fun, happy times. This world is a glimpse into the nightmare Miyu had to live through on a daily basis, and it also explains why Miyu acts the way she does in the anime. Everything that came before the movie finally starts to feel justified with the massive lore drop that Oath Under Snow brought. This movie does a lot well and is the final piece to Shiro's character, but I think I'll skip over that because there are so many videos on YouTube that have talked about him, so if you're interested, you can go check them out. The last thing I want to praise about Prisma Illya is how much of a Fate nerd Hiroyama sensei is. Prisma Illya is Fate, of course, but it subverts everything you know about Fate, the card system, certain characters, and themes. I honestly think it had some of the best interpretations of characters like Shiro and Sakura, but the real thing that sets it apart is the card system. It's so fucking cool. The card system basically works like this. Collect servant cards, load them into your kaleidoscope, then you can transform into them and use their noble phantasms. So the entire card system is just an excuse for Hiroyama sensei to nerd out about servants' character designs and make some of the sickest art you've ever seen in Fate. Okay, I explained my piece on why I think Prisma Illya is good and worth watching. If you still aren't interested, then there is nothing I can do at that point. I'm not telling you to like Prisma Illya, but you should at least know what it is. Form your own opinion and then judge it. Maybe in a few years you'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna give Prisma Illya a try, and you'll remember this video and thank me. But in the case that I did convince you, yay! Yippee! Boy, am I glad to tell you, you do not need to watch the first 2 seasons. Just start with Two-Way Hurts and continue off of that. If you're invested in Prisma Illya after that, go back and watch the first 2 seasons. Or, you know, just read the fucking manga. Hey, thanks for watching this video, and thanks to LollyLover36669 for recommending this video idea. Wow, I did not realize that was your name. Guess we got the target market here. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos, like, subscribe, and comment on what you want me to do next. Have a great day.